I don't like cold. I've only been in the snow a few times my entire life. I was very reluctant on that one. I didn't want to do it, but it was something that my brothers were, again, adamant about me trying. So we got my prosthetic and we made it all waterproof and stuff, and did a couple things to make sure it was going to work. Took me about 30 minutes to get off the hill, 40 minutes for my first time, and I was catching an edge on the steeper parts and couldn't really board real well, but the learning curve, by my second, third time doing it, I was hitting boxes. The progression was super fast, which ultimately it ended up being, as a BK, my ultimate love. Okay. What I did is I went to Home Depot once I knew there was no way on God's green earth I can continue to ride without some kind of rigidity to this crutch. This is how it was. I had a boot all put together with a crutch in this on the board. Blue Dolphin made this for me, which is 18 pounds lighter than what I designed myself from Home Depot and just basic regular parts. This here has made it to where I can fully do anything I want to do, basically, to a level that I'm comfortable with. I fell down and I bruised my stump, and it just was a little tiny bruise, and over a 3-month period it blew like this big and opened wide open and turned gangrene, and I knew what it was. It was about 2 or 3 months before Turbo got sick. He ended up being diagnosed in July with cancer. As a kid, you remember crying so bad that when you were done crying, you were gasping. That's what it was. I went into that deep of just being so upset by that. It was 10 times worse than the doctor telling me that I was losing my legs. I knew at this point my whole life was changing again, and I didn't know how we were going to deal with it or even what we were going to do. And to be honest with you, again, I was in denial. I didn't believe the doctor in the first place till the test came back and told us, yeah, your son has leukemia. So yeah, no, it was devastating. It was the most devastating news I've ever had, even more so than both my parents being deceased. And once I found out Gary had leukemia, I didn't know what was in store for my son. It scared me to death. I knew I was fine. It didn't matter. They could take both my legs and my arms, and I knew I'm going to be fine. But leukemia, cancer, that devastated me. Like I said, it threw me for a loop, threw this whole family for a loop. So back to doctor I went. He looked at me and shook his head. He said, it's got to come off. We need to do this immediately. So what do you want to do? And I said, let's do it on Thursday. I went back to him a week later and he did the amputation, and I thought it was going to be great. I thought it was going to be great. So it was a slap in the face. So in the meantime, I'm trying to deal with this. I got a son that's going through chemotherapy and dealing with cancer, and he's been in and out of the hospital, living at the hospital. It was a pretty devastating time in my life. It really was. Oh, my wife's a superstar. Without her, we would have never made it. We rallied as a team. We made it. We survived it. And you know what? It's made us stronger. Basically, I could walk on it for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I go through this really excruciating pain in my stump area. When I first got my prosthetic, I honestly thought that I was going to be just as good as I was with the BK, and it wasn't the case. It was really trying. That's when I really started to walk on the crutches a lot more, and that's why I don't use it, just because of sheer pain. The liner that I have is a suction fit liner. Like it would literally take everything in your power and everybody's power to pull it. They could probably hang me upside down with it. It wouldn't come off. It's a very unique deal. I couldn't imagine going through life and not being active any longer. It's not something that's feasible to me any longer. It's something I probably could have accepted in the past, but not in the present. My favorite thing in the world to do is get out there and get that pump. It's just a full-on pump. It just drives me crazy. I'm like The Exorcist. My head starts spinning and it's over. When I'm there on a mountain and I'm sitting in a lineup with even a guy with 2 legs, I don't feel any different than they do. I feel exactly the same. The only time I do feel a little different is when I pull that rig out and I got 30 people around me trying to figure out how I'm going to go down the hill on it, and then tell them I'm hitting boxes, and they shake their head no way, and then they see me do it and they come up and they congratulate me. Then I know I'm doing something that's a little different, maybe a little special, but honestly in my heart, I'm no different than you. You're no different than me. I guarantee you, if you lost your leg, you'd be figuring out how you're gonna do your thing. Whatever you enjoy in your life, I guarantee you're gonna try to figure it out. I've been told by several people they don't understand where my energy level comes from. They ultimately think I'm on some kind of weird drugs or something, you know, and I'm not. But it's just a natural energy and a natural high that I live, and I live for today. I live for every day. I love life. I absolutely love life. It doesn't happen much with Buddy One Leg. It really doesn't. But I would say every once in a while I do wish, or think, or wonder, what would have became if I did still have my prosthesis or still had my leg per se. But my life didn't take that turn. I decided to take a different road, and it took me down this path. And even if I could get into a time machine and change it and not be Buddy One Leg and be Buddy Two Legs, I wouldn't. I would still go back in time and do exactly what I did, because I like what I'm doing. I like my life. I love where I'm at. It's me. It's become a part of me. I want to be sure to do what I'm doing, give back. I want to help that other kid. I just want to make sure that they know that this is possible. It's absolutely possible, and that's why I do it. That's my main reason.